brothers and sisters, and friends, and I see some enemies. In fact, I think we'd be fooling ourselves if we had an audience this large and didn't realize that there were some enemies present.
Okay, let's address something. There was a myth of justice. There is no such thing. The idea that in court systems, given certain inputs, you'll always get certain outputs, needs to leave your mind. This is purely the opinion and whims and fucking smoke in the wind of these judges.
Right, they're the rulers.
They can do whatever they want. They ultimately are. I mean, the bar, granted, hey, they get to look at the they kind of have a love-hate relationship with the legislatures. It's like, oh, we let them talk and say what they want to do, and then we do it, but we adjust it when we feel like adjusting it, right? And then you have the police, the thugs, and the executive branch that, yeah, they listen to their own branch and the legislature and the judiciary, but when there's a disagreement, who do they listen to? If a judge says one thing and a legislature said something else and his boss tells him a third thing, who does he listen to?
The judiciary.
It's kind of the judge.
Or courts, duh. The courts make the rules that we all.
Yeah, I mean, they won't cross a court because that's the one thing that can land them in jail too. Is if they disobey that court, they can land in jail. Well, if they disobey the legislature, they'll bitch. And if they disobey their boss can maybe demote them, fire them, or something. But I mean, they all defer to the judges. If the judge says something, that's considered God.
That's in conversation that I had with this attorney, we're sitting there in a room and he goes, you're very confident, but I want to be clear with you is that when you go in front of that judge, you need to be a little bit more humble. He said that shit to me, and I thought immediately to myself, like, oh, humble before God.
Yeah, right. And the best thing is that you're devoted to getting information. Humble or confident really shouldn't come into play. You're just devoted to the idea of getting this information down.
It's totally inquisitive. I am inquisitive.
Totally inquisitive. Yes, you shouldn't be confident or humble or anything. You should be inquisitive. That's a good way to phrase it. Thanks. And you're seeking clarity. You're just there to hash out the truth of things so that you can know the truth, because that is what if that's what you need to base your decisions on, truth and falseness, instead of feelings, instead of opinions and their opinions and being swayed by moral suasion.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. Moral suasion was what exactly the judge did to that lawyer when he was trying to file that document. He swayed him away.
Well, yeah, when there's some teeth behind a statement, though, that's like saying, if the mob says, hey, you're going to be real unhappy if you don't do this, what's behind it.
Yeah, the unhappy part is your leg is broken.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, they can always, if they're being recorded, everybody speaks in abstract, it's like, hey, I want this guy here to have a bad day, go make sure he's not happy, that we know what that means. And if the judge who has such power over this guy, he is able to thwart his plans that easily, I'm sorry, there's good cause to question if that lawyer was maybe concerned for his safety or reputation, or not reputation, what I'm looking for, or his career.
Because the conversation
he displayed rational self-interest and self-preservation.
Right. And it's not that he made some kind of an argument as like, well, here's why you're wrong. He just simply made a conclusory statement as, I wouldn't do that if I was you. And that kind of indicates something else going on. I know where you're saying that it doesn't overtly state it, but that's the whole point. Is no one talks clearly about underhanded shit, you know?